Video lesson 2.2, Chinese philosophies and map review. So I'm going to give you some straightforward notes on what Confucianism and legalism are, and then you can take the very brief quiz and earn some homework points for quarter one. So first of all, let's recap. What is a philosophy? A philosophy is a theory or attitude held by a person or group that acts as a guiding principle for behaviors. So it's the study of fundamental knowledge, reality, existence, kind of what you believe about the way life should be. And so these philosophies came about during the Seven Warring States because as the people observed kind of the chaos and the violence and hardship of the world, they looked to their beliefs to try to make order out of this chaos. So the end part of that last bullet point there should be to make order from the chaos. So 4 key philosophies emerged and kind of gained widespread following during this time period. We're going to talk about the last one in a couple class periods. It started actually in 2000 BCE, so about 1500 years before the Seven Warring States, and it traveled from India to China through our next dynasty that we're going to talk about. But today we're going to focus on Confucianism and legalism. And we talked about in our last video lesson a little bit about what Taoism was, but just to be a little bit more specific, Taoism was created by a man named Lao Tzu, and so you still might see quotes from Lao Tzu. And its name comes from the Tao, which means the way. So basically it's the study of reality. So all the believers want all naturally opposing forces in the world to interact. So we have lightness and darkness, and each bit of light has a little bit of dark, and each bit of dark has a little bit of light. So that's where kind of the symbol of the yin-yang was created. So that little spot of dark and light in their opposing forces, and they balance each other out to create that perfect circle. So this is how the universe works. So in times of darkness, there will eventually be light, and in times of light, there will eventually be darkness. And so this promotes inaction. So we said as our do now that Taoism would not make an effective government because it is very passive. So people just think that if you are a Taoist, you believe that the universe will just eventually work itself out. You shouldn't try to change anything because there's no use trying to change it. It will just kind of make it worse. And all of the principles of Taoism were outlined in a text called the Tao Te Ching. So if a ruler is a Taoist and his people are starving, he will not try to feed them. He will let them starve. Or if his people are being invaded, he will not fight back. He will just let it happen to him. So this is why Taoism would not make an effective government. Okay, our first kind of serious philosophy that is going to carry on throughout this unit is Confucianism. Obviously founded by Confucius, and his Chinese name is Kangji, which is kind of Confucius, Kangji. It's an anglicized version of that name. And he lived from about 551 to 479 BCE. And during that period, he recorded all his thoughts and his teaching in a book known as the Analects. So these thoughts and teachings emphasized morals. So if you have a strong moral fiber, you are a good person and you always do the right thing. So doing good deeds is how you advance in life. So it's not that you're born good and you will always stay good, or that you have to just follow laws. It is if you do good works, help others, be respectful, those kinds of things. So you will go farther in life. Men are naturally born good, according to Confucius, and they will remain good through being good and respecting others and respecting authority. So there is a natural social order that everyone is born into between man, nature, and the heavens, and if all is respected, then all will remain in this orderly balance. So Confucius outlined 5 key relationships to kind of express this respect or balance in life. So in each of these relationships, there is a higher person and a lower person. So somebody who is subjective to the other person. So in our first relationship, the ruler is higher than the ruled, but they have to operate on mutual respect. If you ever heard respect is given and received, you know that that is mutual respect. So husband and wife. Now this is important because they did emphasize that the wives were lower than the husbands. Parent to child, older sibling to younger sibling, and friend to friend. Usually it's older friend to younger friend. I don't know what happens if they're the same age. There's just mutual respect going on. Now, on the flip side of the philosophies is legalism. So, actually a Confucian scholar, Han Feizi, was the first one to put the philosophies' beliefs on record. And these beliefs said that there must be strict adherence to the law should be rigid, unbending, and feature strict punishments for violations. So there should be no forgiveness, no mercy, no understanding. So this is exactly how Qin Shi Huangdi ruled. He was oppressive and he was limiting, but he was able to maintain order through legalism because people were so afraid to break laws, or if they broke laws, they were removed from the society. So he definitely ruled with an iron fist. He held everybody accountable to the law, including himself and his government workers, and he had no concern for ethics or morality. So there's no concern about any good things you do, it's just about the bad things that you do. And legalists also believe that all people are naturally evil, so they need strict laws in order to act properly. They need this strict enforcement, otherwise they'll go wild and crazy and break all sorts of laws and be violent and be terrible people. So, that is all on the philosophies for now. Let's quickly review our map in preparation for your map quiz, which is also next class. So here's our map of Asia. China is obviously the big orange one. Russia, Mongolia. Don't forget about North Korea and South Korea over here. This Korean peninsula actually joins with China and a little tiny piece of Russia, but it is its own peninsula. Japan, however, is this string of islands right here. The one that kind of looks like a J, if you can imagine it. The Philippines is this group of islands over here. India is our large pointy one. Nepal is where Mount Everest is. So that is that rectangular pink country in between India and China. So if you remember Nepal and in Mount Everest, you can remember that the Himalayan mountains divided India and China in that video that we watched. Let's take a closer look at Southeast Asia. So we have Myanmar, which is the one closest to India other than Bangladesh, which is this yellow one. You can't really see it. From Myanmar, we also have Thailand, which has the tail. Thailand has the tail. At the end of Thailand's tail is Malaysia. And Malaysia also includes this half of this island. So everywhere in pink here is Malaysia. So on your map, it will look like I circled these 2 points. And same thing with Indonesia. I will circle all of this that is in orange. On your map, I cut this little island off by accident with the box, but just know that it is half of this island. The purple island is the Philippines. This coastal country is Vietnam. And the landlocked country is Laos. Remember, landlocked and Laos. And then Bangladesh is the one kind of in between those 2 awkward pieces of India. So hopefully that clears up all your questions about the map. That is all you need to know for your quiz. And now you are done.